Hello, Rose. It's so good to see you, and Merry Christmas. It's just like days away. I'm super excited. I'm sure you've got lots of things written on your Santa Please Bring Me list.
I have, definitely, yes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Healing Through Love show, where we are a social enterprise whose vision is to share and shift awareness on domestic and family violence in the community and to support survivors. Our mission is to provide family and domestic violence survivors with a soft place to land by offering advice on services available to them and their families.
Thank you, Charlene. And as well as the Healing Through Love show, we hold annual Pamper Days for survivors in South Australia. This is where local businesses come together. They pay it forward by providing their services and resources for the day for free to give our survivors a much-deserved day of indulgence. And each week on this show, we interview experts and survivors who share their personal stories and offer advice to those who have experienced abuse, no matter where they are on their journey.
And it's been such a glorious year this year. We have such an amazing group of people that have stepped up to the platform to share not just their own personal story and just with so much vulnerability. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's been an incredible year. We've got one more week to go. We're going to be broadcasting next week, final Tuesday of 2021.
I'm excited for that one. And this is our last one before Christmas. And the people that we've interviewed and had on the show all year, they've not only just shared that beautiful vulnerability, but they've also shared some really relevant tips and techniques that help people transition, everything from the breathing to the heart-head connection to, there's just been so many, visualization, meditation, breath work. There's just been such a huge list of tools and techniques to help survivors. And it's really made a huge difference. And what happens, Rose and I talk about them after the show, and we're like, which one of these are we going to implement this week? And so it helped both of us, hasn't it, Rose?
It has, and it's really good that we can have both genders on the show too to help survivors with these tools and techniques. And it's great to say that that men are just as equally willing to come on and discuss their vulnerabilities with us. It's quite heartwarming.
It's so true, Rose, because I know for most people, when they think about family and domestic violence, their first thought goes to women. Yes, and there is just as the stories to tell and the lessons to learn and the tools and techniques in and around for guys. It's equally important. It really is.
Absolutely.
From both family and domestic violence too. So, when I have this conversation at barbecues about domestic violence, not so much family violence because we're talking about little boys, but when we talk about domestic violence, so many people, they sort of shrug it off a little bit and then they make a passing comment. And you should see me get on my high horse, Rose, and just get in there to defend the guys that, this happens. It's real. It's true.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though that men still are uncomfortable with bringing it forward, and being public about they themselves being abused by their partner, whether it's heterosexual or otherwise, or or same-sex partners, but it goes across the whole spectrum, and it's such a sad thing. And between Charlene and I, we're trying to change the world.
We are. Hi, Rose. I can see Ross there. Sorry, Ross there.
Hey, Ross, how are you going?
Kylie, thank you so much for joining us on our last broadcast before Christmas. Yeah, and it's true though, and it begins with having that high point, having that point of vulnerability, having that ability to let down the barriers and have the conversations. Now, in my family, I personally know family members who are still waiting to even have that open conversation about what happened to them.
Yeah,
and they're not, they're the other side of 50. So it all begins with letting down the barriers and letting other people in so that you can have that conversation. And, a challenge shared is a burden lessened, and it just makes all of the difference. So
I know in your early life you were troubled with domestic violence in quite a serious way, and you've been years and years out the other side. So, what lesson did you learn along the way?
So I've learned a lot of lessons, and it's great because I really have taken the attitude that life happens for me, not to me, and living above the line. So, taking ownership, responsibility, and taking action. It's really helped me. Yes, and Rose, I'm sure you're alluding to something that happened near Christmas, only just a few short years ago. So. I've been out the other side of both family and domestic violence for quite some time, and been living a different lifestyle. And I was a little bit cocky about, I know how to spot the red flags. I know how to stay away from danger. I know how to no longer attract people that are going to do me harm. I had a huge list of things that I thought I knew. Yes, and the universe wanted to make sure that I learnt the lesson. And just a few years ago, in fact, it's 2019. So what's that, 2 years, Rose?
Yeah.
So, in December 2019, I had been dating a guy for only 7 weeks that I met on the internet. And, I thought things were okay. And little did I know, but the signs were there, but I just wasn't prepared to see them. So didn't have that fully level of awareness that he had an episode. And 5.5 hours later, I was all shades of different colors. And it was right in the middle of Christmas too. So we had functions, we had Speakers Tribe, and I had interviews, and I had clients. So it was like I had to dust myself off and keep moving forward. Luckily, we're in a community where we can have a conversation about what happened. And instead of sort of pointing the finger and saying, you should know better, it's not the response I got from my friends and the girls from Healing Through Love. We got, it's okay, let's talk about it. Let's go through the process of having the conversation. Okay, you didn't do this, it was done to you. And, just helping me with the tools and techniques that we all share regularly: meditation, breath work, stretching, going for walks, being grounded, having gratitude, and all of those things. And now, 2 years down the track, I'm grateful that happened, because it really gave me an opportunity to step back and see, it does happen to anyone. Anywhere. It doesn't matter how you think you've progressed and, you're an enlightened being. I'm saying this with a smile on my face because Rose knows me well. And it put me back in my place to see that this can happen if you don't keep that level of awareness and what's happening with your self-esteem and your self-worth and all of those things. So thanks, Rose. That was 2 years ago. And I've learned a lot of lessons since then. And but it's also helped me really connect. Oh, thank you, Roz. It's really helped me connect with our survivors, and when they share their stories, I really understand, that we hold ourselves in these positions, and sometimes it can be financial, sometimes it can be patterns of behaviour. There's lots of different things. So we just need to create an environment where there is no shame, there is no blame, and where we can just embrace everybody, men and women, and just help them through the process. Help them, first of all, first heal, because you got to heal first. And then as soon as you've stopped bleeding, metaphorically speaking, or not, then, the next part is being surrounded by that community so that we can help you move forward. So
absolutely. Yes, I know you had a lot of problems with him for a long time afterwards. After that particular episode, and so I'm just glad that it was all been finalised and it's all over with now. So
it was definitely about community, though. So even once my healing had started, it was the fact that we had the sisterhood around us, people that I could lean in and have a conversation with, and it just made things feel okay. And
Yeah.
that means I was able to drop the blame and the shame frequency really quickly. So that meant I could heal faster as well. So, I really am thankful for you, Rose, and all of the girls in the sisterhood of Healing Through Love that have helped me through that process. And this is the first time I've been able to actually talk about it on air too. So, because I think we sort of tuck these things away, and you've got to practice what you preach when you're talking with other people and you're sort of saying, well, let's talk through it and see how we can move forward. But you need to practice what you preach.
Absolutely.
So, Rose, my turn to ask you questions.
Yes.
Now, Rose, many of us have heard your story of your domestic violence, family violence. And, it's quite a story, Rose. And I know that you are working towards putting this into a book. And I hear that 2022 is going to be the year that you step into that place and move that forward. And but I understand that you're taking the things that you've learned and you're now working with Survivor TV. Can you tell us a little bit about, that transition and how you're using that and what sort of what tell us about Survivor TV, because not everyone knows.
Okay, well, I was approached by the owner of a Facebook page called My Red Flags, and she had seen that I was, had this show and I was podcasting and doing all sorts of other things. And she said, well, why don't you get a TV show up for My Red Flags? So we ummed and ahed about a name, and I thought one night it just came to me. I said, why don't I just call it Survivors TV? It was basically started off as just a group for survivors of childhood sexual abuse. But then there were a lot of other people who asked to join who were survivors of domestic violence and family violence. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just open up the group to everybody. And then I just started, for the first 2 episodes, I just interviewed myself. I think it was the first 3 episodes, actually. I just interviewed myself and just, spilled my guts about my story, about my past and, what happened to me and how I got out of it and how I've been able to grow and thrive and, become the person that I am now. And it's been a really long journey, let me tell you, but, I'm finally getting there. And, so Survivors TV is basically people are actually coming on now, telling their stories and doing much like what we do here on Healing Through Love show, is that they come on, they tell their stories and they, give some awareness to their challenges and how they've been able to come out the other side. So it's like a sister show, but not quite the same. I think the audience is a little bit more in the raw part of their journey still. A lot of it is about narcissism. A lot of the viewers have been in narcissistic relationships, and they're looking for ways to feel good about themselves again. And so a lot of the guests that I've had on, male and female, I must say, have shared their journeys and given advice, much like they do here, but in a different context. I think it's more real and more raw than it is on this show. But, I really love doing it. It's on Tuesday nights. So I come off this one and get ready for Tuesday night, basically. So so I'm kept pretty busy between the two of them, plus the podcast.
I love it.
Business.
I love it, Rose. And, that's true, is that but both of us have used the lessons that we've learned through healing to actually interweave into what we actually offer in a business. So both the shift process that I work with and also the align process, which is for wellness practitioners, they have both got the lessons that we've learned through moving through this. And I know that the same thing for you too. You bring that level of compassion and understanding and that ability to understand your own self-worth, and you share that with others as well. So it's made us who we are.
Yes.
and have being able to find the silver lining in what's happened for us has been like a lifelong journey for us, hasn't it?
It has. Well, I'm just turned 62, and so it's taken me until I was about 60 to finally begin to realise that it didn't happen to me, it happened for me. And I'm grateful for the journey along the way, because it taught me some really valuable life lessons, and it taught me a lot about myself. And the last 2 years has been an absolute growth journey for me. I've gone in leaps and bounds in the last 2 years, and especially this 2021 has been like the best year, I think, for personal growth that I've had, and I'm grateful that I've been able to learn the lessons that the universe has sent to me, and so I don't need to have them repeated. Thank you very much, universe.
Yeah, I got the message loud and clear, universe, thanks, I'm moving forward.
Yes.
And you know, and with leaps and bounds, because engaged now.
Yeah, congratulations on
I
that.
know, to a man that's been in love with me for 32 years, which is in itself is a story. And did you know that they wrote an article about it in a magazine?
Yeah, I saw it in That's Life. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's just, and to know that he's just been there in the wings, in the background for all that length of time, and that if I was in a different place, then I would have attracted him sooner. So, but hey, I needed a dating coach to help me move forward. And hey, guys, you might not necessarily need a business coach or a life coach, but you might need a coach in a specific area. And I know that it's been the best money I've ever spent, which is personal development money, getting coaches and having mentors. It's really, and Rose, yourself as well, it's made a huge impact, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah, I mean, a lot of mine's been given freely, so I'm very grateful for that. However, the sisterhood has come to my rescue on more than one occasion, and even the brotherhood has come to my rescue as well. So, and just pointed me in the right direction when I was getting a little bit off the beaten track. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for the people that I've met, especially this year. There's been so much that that they've given me that they don't realise what they've have given me. It's friends like yourself and our friend in Queensland and whatever. So yeah, it's been amazing. I've had an amazing journey this year, and I'm so grateful for all of it. It's just been wonderful.
It's so true. And, they say, I like it, Sam says, proximity is power. And it's true. We are the average of our 5 closest friends, the average of their income, the average of their spiritual journey, like the average, full stop, end of paragraph. And for us to be in close proximity on a weekly basis has made a difference for both you and I. And also we've been able to pay that forward in the community and make a difference for others, even if it's just this platform here that we're using. And thanks to Be Live TV and also My Time TV for providing this platform where people who are interested in making a difference in the DV and the FV space, that they can come forward and they can share this experience online because of our sponsors, and also then physically assist us with the in-person events as well. So it's just been a wonderful year of growth. And look, if we were talking before the show, could we pick like our favorite this year? And we just can't. There has just been so many amazing guests this year that have taught us personally, and we also know our audience as well. But, what do you reckon? How do you think that this program is impacting our audience, Rose?
Well, I think because of the guests that we've had, because of our close relationship, I think it brings a certain calmness and love and pay it forward and all those, really warm, cuddly feelings, to our audience, and they can know that they can come on here and feel safe and feel nurtured and feel, all the love that we can project through the screens and through the ethos and through the internet and whatever, because you and I are both very heart-centered, and and I'm sure that we radiate that out, through every being in our bodies. So yeah, and I think it's impacted our audience to the point where we have repeat people coming back every week to view, whether they can come live or not. But I know that we've had repeat viewers on the replay. So yeah, it's been really great. We've grown our stats this year. I know we shouldn't be talking about it, but our stats this year have really grown a lot, because I think it's just because we're just so heart-centered when we share, and guests are very heart-centered, and they share their vulnerability with others, and make them feel good, and give them these tools and techniques that that they can use to make their world a lot better place.
It's so true. And it all starts with us having a vision and a mission to move forward. And I know that 2022 is going to be amazing. We've got yet still one more guest next week, and we're booked till March. So if you've been a guest of ours previously and you'd love to come back in 2022, we'd love to have you. And all you need to do is just reach out to Rose. I can see your cat, Rose. Reach out to Rose or send us an email. What's the email address, Rose?
hello@htl-australia.org.
Excellent.
Or you can reach me on our Facebook page at Healing Through Love Australia, or through the website at htl-australia.org.
She's got that. Look at that. She's just all over that. And yeah, we know that next year is going to be an amazing year, and we've got great plans. Lots more giveaways as well. So as the people that we're interviewing most weeks have got something impactful to be able to give away and make a difference, that's fantastic. So it's a great place to be. And we've also got our live event in Adelaide that we're still finding a location. So we're still working on that, but we're definitely going ahead. And that looks like May. Might be
have it in the phone box.
Yeah. No, we'll have it in a physical location. We're still holding our breath here in Adelaide with all things COVID and what's happening in that space.
Here in Tassie, the men's retreat is a bit dicey because of what's happening here, and it's really difficult to make event arrangements because the world is just such an uncertain place. And,
we thought that research showed that we would be getting back to some sort of level of new normal, but we're still going to be leaning very heavy on online events. So Rose, for those of you who don't know, Rose is an online event manager. So if that's your area that you need to work on to create either online workshops or webinars, then Rose is the person that you need to be speaking to about that. And if you're
Charlene is the speakers coach of speakers coaches.
I have a claim to fame. I've helped many politicians and quite a few TED Talk speakers. Yes. And a few other things. But so next year, really leaning in towards people who have physical practices. So health practitioners who have physical practices, helping them transition to work one-to-many by getting very specific about the service that they provide and the language around that. And then I'm going to be working in conjunction with Rose. Once they sort of know what they're doing, Rose is going to be helping you with getting that into an online space. So it's going to be like tag team.
It is, even though we live in two different states.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's online. It's heaps of fun.
Right, yeah.
So, wow. So, guys, thank you so much. And we wanted to we were going to put on some silly hats and stuff, but we thought, no, it would ruin our hair. Because we still have work to do this afternoon. But we wanted to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But we do have another event next week. We've got a beautiful new person to interview next Tuesday. It's been an interesting year on so many levels for businesses and also personally as well. And just to know that this is a safe place, that Healing Through Love is a safe place, and that we are here to help and support you and help move you forward. And thanks to also many people that have reached out to message us privately as well. And it's just been great to be able to put together packages, which should be going out by the end of the week. So we'll take some photos and get them up on the Facebook page as well. Oh, thanks, Rose. Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, Ross.
So thanks everyone. It's been a great year. We as I said, we've got one more event for next Tuesday, so we'll do all our celebrating then, and we might even wear a silly hat that day.
We might wear a silly hat because it goes. Now, so one tip for people who are moving forward and learning to heal. So this week I've really been working with all of the things that are happening, all of the excitement here in Adelaide, is really just to ground myself. So every day, shoes off, and I'm walking outside in the dirt. So it really has made a huge difference because it's just all up in the air here. And we get, quite empathic. So I get a little bit mixed up with everyone else's stuff. And so, it's great to have those boundaries and it's great to have self-regulation. Yes. And it's still an energy thing. So I still need to ground. So if you're feeling a little right now, guys, can I just implore you, just take your shoes off, get outside, go for a walk in the dirt. If you can't get to dirt, hey, I remember I remember last year when I was flying, actually no, it's this year, when I was flying every 5 minutes to a different location. I've been known to take my shoes off and stand in a pot plant if I couldn't get myself to earth fast enough off the plane. Yes, I got tapped on the shoulder because I was standing in a pot plant. And that's okay because I was explaining to them I need to ground. So guys, that's my free tip to you guys, is to take your shoes off and walk in the dirt. And Rose, have you got any passing tools or techniques or anything to help people with?
When you find yourself in a bit of a challenging moment, just remember to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it gives you time to think about why you're challenged and how you can get through that challenge. And just remember to breathe deeply. And breathe right in. Take 3 really good deep breaths, and remember to count to 5 because that's really, really helpful. It just gives you that moment to really just think about why you're stressed, why this thing's bothering you, and how you can get out of it and be happy on the other side of it.
No, I love it. And in the comments, we've got dusting off and bringing it in. Is that right?
Dusting off, the S and
dusting off the stuff. And bring the love. I'm sure that's the translation.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Guys, it's been a privilege and a pleasure. Merry Christmas. And I'm looking forward to next week. And I want to say a massive thanks to our sponsors this year, to Be Live TV for the app and the streaming, and then also My Time TV for the platform and the leverage. Just 2 amazing companies to work with and just really heart-centered.
Absolutely. And kisses to both of them. Lots of kisses to both of them. Merry Christmas to our sponsors. So we will talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to your company next Tuesday at 1:00 in Adelaide.
Bye for now.
Bye.